I wouldn't be offended if you guys had an Australia Day. I would think that would be hilarious if you guys were all walking around going, oh, mate, look how here comes a crocodile, or didgeridoo, fucking, here's me koala.
Right.
Crikeys, everyone, look out.
Time for a rousing game of stingray roulette.
I put Bobby in the pool one time, and Bobby immediately rolled over upside down and started sinking to the bottom with his eyes open, looking at me. And I'm like,
Let me go.
not even a wiggle, dude. You're not even going to make it. What kind of a fucking asshole are
yes, this is the stuff.
you?
However did you know?
My balls is totally moving, doing it grooving. Now can we get back up? I got the heart and desire. My balls are on fire, ready to take us to the top. Welcome to the show. Did you know that your mom is a All hail the King of the West! King of the West! Yeah. I can dig it. Fuck yeah, I'll dig it all day. Let's dig it. Yeah. You know what I don't want to do is dig myself out of a coffin. That and a cave. Which is worse? I guess a cave is a little bit better because there is a hole. But yeah, I hate those movies. I hate TV shows. I hate when dudes are like, oh, look at this. I'll just wiggle and get even further into this crevice. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. You fucking suck. Why don't you put a jar in your anus and let it pop?
Yeah, I feel like I would be horrible at both. I hope I'm never faced with the opportunity to dig myself out of a cave or a coffin.
I'm definitely afraid of being buried alive. That's just always a thing I've had.
I don't think, I mean, are you saying that that's a thing that wakes you up in the middle of the night, or are you just saying I couldn't think of anything worse? Because I think everybody is kind of down with that's pretty bad.
Here's what I'll say.
You look tanned.
Do I?
Did you go to Hawaii?
I have. I've been off the mainland. Aloha, friends. It's great to see you.
I fucking get you Tesla driving cocksucker.
And mahalo to all of you for being here.
Yes, white people.
I can't say it. Aloha makes me uncomfortable because people will aloha you left and right there, and I don't feel right alohaing back. But I feel weird saying it, and I feel weird.
You got to say there more,
and I feel weird not saying it.
You need 7 words that you use all the time because you've been living there for 6 years. Yeah, and then you're probably okay.
It makes me a little uncomfortable when the white people there are too aloha-y.
Yeah, no, I know.
Pipe down, guys.
Yeah.
You're still, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're third generation. You're still a visitor. Friend.
It's almost like going to Inglewood and trying to talk like you're a bit thugged out, because you're staying at someone's house in Inglewood. It's like, what the fuck?
It is a bit like that. No,
I know it's not. I know, but I wonder, do locals in Hawaii think, when we're there with our kids and we're like, aloha, they're like, man, shut the fuck up. Because I feel like we must be annoying to them.
I think there's a little bit of both. I've heard people from other places. I have heard Irish people talk about people going to, actual Irish people with brogues born there, coming here, meeting people who are of Irish extraction, who will tell them to their face, I'm Irish too. And I one time I smoked a joint with an Irish chick, and she said that she used to find it sort of ludicrous that people would be having St. Patrick's Day parades and stuff like that when they didn't understand what Ireland really was. Most have never been there.
No, well, let alone the fact that almost every person celebrating doesn't have any Irish blood either.
And then she came to see it that way, which actually it's pretty cool that I am Irish, and I think it's fun that you guys all want to pretend to be Irish for a day. Yeah. Even if you have no idea what it means to be Irish, it's a pretty cool compliment that I'm from this tiny little country. There's only 10 million people in Ireland, and everybody wants to pretend to be us for a day.
I wouldn't be offended if you guys had an Australia Day. I would think that would be hilarious if you guys were all walking around going, oh, mate, look how here comes a crocodile, or didgeridoo, fucking, here's me koala.
Right.
Crikey's, everyone, look out.
Time for a rousing game of Stingray
Yeah.
Roulette.
Sorry, I got it. How do you do it? Yeah, it's very hard for me to do a shit Australian accent, but I just realized.
Just let me know what you need me to say.
It would be thousands of you just destroying it. Just, oh, good eye, friend. You know, like, I don't know how you guys do it incorrectly, but if you all just did it drunking. Look, because we get.
Roo, cobber.
Yeah, because here's the good thing that I think a lot of people would want to get on board is we are known for drinking a lot.
Yeah.
So at our Australia festivity day, where you all pretend to be Australians, that day we drink everything. Oh, you'd be like, a lot of you have to get real drunk to pretend to like a Vegemite sandwich. That's like blackout, and it would work because you could have blacked out people that are like, "I'll do it. I'll be Australia Day. I'll do it." And then if they're buzzed, you will vomit from a Vegemite sandwich. It's not you. Americans don't like Vegemite.
No,
I'm so American that when I eat it now, I understand why you don't like it. But because I was born in Australia, I still like it. I like it.
Yeah, it tastes like concentrated earwax.
No, it doesn't. But
It's like an oil spill on toast.
Sure. If that's how, yes, totally understandable. I feel like it's usually a person of Asian descent, maybe Spanish. It's the closest I can get. If your parents cooked you a lot of their food, then for some weird reason, because I've got a couple of Spanish friends and a couple of Korean friends and Vietnamese friends that are like, oh yeah, that's okay. And I'm like, really? You're saying that's okay? And they're not from Vietnam. They're just, their parents are.
Yeah.
And I think they ate a lot of mom's original stuff that has, and is soy sauce for Asians. Because if it's something that's that soy sauce, really bitter thing.
Yes.
A lot of people have grown up eating that flavor in their life. So the Vegemite doesn't throw them off.
Yeah.
I think American white people are very, not so intricate when it comes to savory, really basic. So when it gets too spicy or too unique of a flavor, it tends to be not cool to Americans.
Yeah, we're not yeasty people.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because to me, I always put it down to Australians because it's like beer and you can't drink in the middle of the day. You got to go to work. So people have Vegemite on toast in the morning to hold them off for the beer in the afternoon.
Maybe. Everybody's got their something. The Hawaiians have macaroni salad. It's such a random thing.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not for that. I like pineapples, but no, I don't want any macaroni salad.
Yeah, they want rice and macaroni salad with
I like rice. I think rice is a good idea.
They're double starch people.
Do you know brown rice is bad for you? I mean, nowhere near as good for you as the white one. Apparently the starchy shit is good.
Really? I thought
Yeah.
it was the other way around. I thought that
I could be wrong. We could
thrown-
Google it right now or just fight. I don't care.
I was under the impression that brown rice is very nutritious and people throw away all the nutrition in rendering it white.
That's what I thought, but then I saw a video, so you know what I mean?
I don't need a ton of it either way, so it doesn't really affect my life all that much.
Yeah. Well, because Katie has brown rice because she can't have gluten or whatever it is. And I always just go, yeah, sure. But to know that white rice has something in it that brown rice doesn't have that's apparently good.
Well, I might have an answer for you.
Good, great, because I'm just sound like an idiot.
So brown rice is more nutritious than white rice. It has more fiber, magnesium, and other nutrients, and it's not artificially enriched like white rice is, but it is slightly higher in calories and carbs. So there's a little bit of a trade-off. A little bit higher in
Maybe better
in carbs and calories, but then you have all those vitamins and nutrients and crap.
In the brown rice.
Yes.
Maybe white is for just to burn like good fuel to burn for working out, like saturated fats or something. I'm spinning shit. What about this?
Yeah.
Did you know that John Lennon once peed in a man's drink and he drank it? Do you believe that?
I 100% believe that. That seems like that passive-aggressive bitch.
And I
To
bet that
me-
man was Ringo. He drank his piss
Nah, it wasn't a Beatle.
willingly.
It was just some other guy, unfortunately. I think he was a musician, though.
Yeah.
He made another musician drink his urine and laughed.
Did you learn that on TikTok?
Probably.
What else did you learn on
Will this
TikTok?
be is a bit flat?
Well, I learned that cats can't show facial expressions, but they still have emotions, and they can learn how to do stuff. They can understand when people are talking to them. There's a few things that they can do, but they can't. If they're very excited or very sad, they can't show you with their face. They don't have the emotions attached to the facial features, unlike dogs do, apparently.
Yeah. It's all in the eye muscles. I realized that recently, and I felt very, very stupid for having not realized that sooner. The animals that we like connect to and feel like you can really see like there's something going on in there, they just have more eye muscles around their eyes than the ones that we don't. The other ones you go, hey, that guy's not thinking about anything. Look at him. He's just flying around. His face is completely blank.
Dude.
No, he just doesn't have any muscles around his eyes. He can't furrow his brows or raise them in delight.
Dude.
That is what separates animals that we love from animals that we eat.
Well, we had a cat, bless his heart, Prince, who from time to time I would just look over and he would be like really close to a wall, facing it with his eyes open. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I always felt like he's a nice guy, but he also thought everybody was pretty stupid. And I wonder sometimes if he just thought that I was so stupid that he'd rather look at the wall than at me. He was like, oh, idiots. Or maybe Katie didn't give him wet food or something. And he's just like, fuck you guys. This is the back of my head. Because I always thought, like, what are you looking at?
Do you think animals can see ghosts?
They pump fake you like the episode of Babies. I remember. Wow. This is why people that are that have been in something that shook them, gave them some fucking a jolt. My brother passed away when Devin was born, and I moved up to Hollywood to start trying to do a radio show. I remember her on the bed. And I'm like playing with whatever, like little baby. And she just fucking totally zoned out and started looking to the point where I'm like, what are you looking at? And there's nothing there. And I'm thinking maybe babies see ghosts and you see Stevie. But that's because you're thinking that because I bet you I wouldn't think that now. You know, like the baby looks behind me. I'm like, she's not doesn't see my brother. I'm just still in shock, and that's where people get you. You know, like I feel when people die, and they tell you ain't going to a better place, or
right.
That's where they get you.
When you feel like you need answers, you're more receptive to something that's maybe
you'll take the bullshit.
Fairly implausible. Both of my kids have very consistently, when they were very young, said lots of really weird stuff about like where they used to be and before I was a baby. And I don't know, maybe that's just a thing all kids do, but both of them have done. I mean, my one kid, I wrote it down verbatim at the time. It was fucking crazy. He was telling me where he was before he was born. But my daughter really does get into that shit as well. Now, as far as the animals and ghost things, I have had some supernatural experiences in the basement of my parents' house.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'll just tell you.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you for people who aren't
more
familiar,
than one.
Two
ghost encounters.
So here's the lame one first. We used to have before computers, we had a word processor. You would write out a paper on a thing. It was like it was like a fancy electronic typewriter. You would write out a bunch of shit and then you could correct it and make sure it was okay. And then you would hit print and the whole thing would come out. And I used to do school papers on it in high school. That's how old I am. It worked fine on every floor of our house. And then I would start doing stuff in the basement and it would print out all weird. And I was like, guys, isn't this strange? And everyone laughed at me. And so in front of a gathering of my extended family, everyone was again laughing at me for me saying, isn't it odd that this only happens in the basement? So I went down to the basement, printed out a paper. It came out all weird and random, brought the thing upstairs, plugged it in, hit print again. The thing came out perfectly. And then I tried, because, kids do this. You want to get as much freedom as you possibly can from your family. Feel like you're
good luck trying to take that from me.
Right. These colors don't run. I think that's what you're supposed to say.
Man, I wanted to be like, amen, brother, but I don't remember that one.
I think that's one. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
No, it totally is.
Thank you.
Wait, these colors don't run? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
When you have like a robot
that's
hand,
nice.
like a tattoo of a robot hand pulling your flesh open.
That's
and you have, like,
intimidating.
Captain America shield on your
that's
chest. Right. So I tried to make my bedroom my parents' basement. I was taking over the basement, making it like my own little man cave teenage boy apartment.
Yeah.
And I finished doing that. And the first night that I slept down there, I was laying in bed in the dark trying to fall asleep. And I heard, to me, audibly, a man sigh 3 feet away from me.
Like, oh.
Like,
Yeah. Ooh.
yeah.
You sure
I
it wasn't
don't know.
Was it
Maybe-
your ass?
Maybe it was my ass. Maybe it was the hot water heater. Maybe the hot water heater and my ass were starting a band.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not claiming.
That's but more likely.
I'm
than-
somebody who calls bullshit on ghosts, while I'll also tell you that and I also had one experience in the second floor of my parents' room. We had I think this is significant, just changed the house. We just laid new carpet down across the second floor of our house. My parents had just put an addition on the house. We'd had a 2-bedroom house. My sister was too old to be sharing a room with me. They put on a 3rd bedroom. For the first time in my life, I was sitting in what was now not me and my sister's room. I was now in my room. And I was sitting, there was no furniture in the floor. I was just sitting on the carpet of my brand new, this is my, oh boy, finally I'm a real boy. I got my own room. 2 knocks on the door slammed shut. I opened the door. 10 minutes later, 2 knocks on the door slammed shut.
Okay, so that's the old man knocking on the door.
Maybe.
What's this old man? What do you think he died of? Do you think he lived in the house before, or do you think this is a ghost that's following you? Do you think it's a relative?
I know that a woman actually hung herself in our garage.
So maybe
But
it
that's
was
the
a
garage?
lady that sighed.
That's a garage and that's a lady, and I
You heard a man.
identified a man.
Talking about mental.
That's right. In 2021, talking and singing about mental is finally a thing. And that's why we're excited to be sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Let me break it down for you. If you think you need therapy, you need therapy. If you think you might need therapy, you probably need therapy. If you think you don't need therapy, there's a good chance you could still use some therapy.
I'm probably fine.
You're fine. Everybody else, you might want to look into BetterHelp, customized online therapy that offers video, phone, even live chat sessions with your therapist. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy. You can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Fun fact, that's 2 days. Join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Jason Ellis Show listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Ellis.
Ellis.
That's better, HELP.com/Ellis.
Blue Chew gets you hard.
We're here once again, literally and figuratively, singing the praises of Blue Chew. It's an exciting day for you when that discreet packaging shows up at your door. Your neighbor has no idea what you've got in store for that weekend. They'll never know what you're getting in the mail. It's just a secret between you and that special someone. Blue Chew is an online prescription service. No visit to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line. The process couldn't be more simple. You sign up at bluechew.com. You consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you receive your prescription within days. Couldn't you benefit from a little extra confidence when it's time to perform? Visit bluechew.com. And here's a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code Ellis at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code Ellis to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Blue Chew. Isn't it weird to know a man's sigh and a woman's sigh? Like if you can't see them, how the fuck do you know which crutch they've got?
Well, it's kind of like how you can usually tell when there's a man speaking or a woman speaking.
You could do it if you close your eyes and then Kevin sighs
But a
and then
sigh
Katie
is
sighs.
just-
You'll know the difference.
Eh.
So anyway, the whole reason why I brought this up is we had 2 dogs when I was a kid, and look, it was just having dogs was different in my day. I apologize to PETA and all the animal lovers listening to this. The dog was just like a piece of furry furniture that walked around that we threw scraps of food
It's not
to.
your day. It's you guys.
Right.
There were people in the same era that actually liked their dogs.
Yes, but it's far more common nowadays to have furry children than it was when I was a kid. The way that
Yeah,
we
no,
were.
I will grant you,
Yeah.
because little dogs came.
Right.
There was a time where I'm old enough to, man, I'm so old that everybody that had dogs, they were never, you couldn't get a little dog.
Mhm.
I remember my dad his stepmom found them. That's what introduced me to small dogs. They had the whiskey, the black and white whiskey, a Scotty, and the other fucking one, whatever the weird looking poodly looking things. I remember not being a fan, but obviously they were our family dogs because we had big dogs growing up, and then all of a sudden we got, what are they called?
Scotty Dogs?
Because they're two different breeds. One's a white one and one's a black one, and the black one's a little bit longer in the body, like almost like a bit of a wiener dog, but furry, and they have these weird little beard.
Scottish Terrier?
Yeah, Scottish Terrier, but then the white one is some other terrier.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I used to like Scotties. I used to think they were cool when I was a kid.
They were very fun. I mean, we had Bobby and Billy, and Bobby was the big fat black one, and Billy, Richie Bill, I would call him, because he was kind of always greasy. Even if you watched him, his head was the only bit that wasn't greasy, so I always called him Richie Bill. He not very smart. Bill was just always happy to see everybody. He pissed on a fucking PowerPoint once. Somehow didn't electrocute himself. Like made a fucking like in the wall and stuff, and because he peed on it.
Wait, what's a PowerPoint in Australia?
Oh,
An outlet?
yeah.
Okay.
And Bobby was super fat and lazy and didn't really like anybody and would snap. One time he bit a jogger and made her bleed. Like just running by, he fucking bit a jogger. And he also could not swim at all. Bill could swim a little bit, but I put Bobby in the pool one time, and Bobby immediately rolled over upside down and started sinking to the bottom with his eyes open, looking at me. And I'm like,
Let me go.
not even a wiggle, dude. You're not even going to make it. What kind of a fucking asshole
Oh,
are
yes, this is the stuff. However did you know?
He was, mean guy. I remember at one point, I can't understand why he might have been mean, though, because he was very big.
Maybe it's because you tried to drown him.
Right. Well, I didn't think of that, but yeah, wow. I was trying to help him swim, but he might have seen it differently.
Yeah, some people take that personal.
Well, I did pull him out. I didn't just let him stay in the bottom. I immediately grabbed him and pulled him out of there. But
Let that be
he
a
used to. His mother used to make him do. He would go to these Scottish Terrier races out in the bush where all these white people would go with their Scotties, and they would have fucking race them like they were greyhounds.
In the bush.
Yeah, mate. And everybody would have like a big, you have barbecues and everyone's drunk.
I'm just picturing someone going, welcome to Thunderdome.
It's
And
not-
a fucking bunch of Scotties.
It's more like
strut in.
It's more like dressage because it's fucking uppity people that have. Because if you had a little dog in the 80s, you're an uppity. My dad was rich. He had a rich pocket for like 10, 15 years. And my stepmom, they were living large. They had like 4 or 5 cars, and they had the Billy and Bobby, and they had all the big whiskey bottles in this one room to match the fucking Billy. Like she would always buy the little porcelain Billy Bobbies. Like whenever it was her birthday or Christmas, she'd just get more Billy and Bobby shit. That's it. That's all she wanted. But yeah, Bobby could not run. He had no legs, and he was very fat, large, very large. And he would go to these meets and have to run. And I was like, man, you really think Bobby lives for the pace, for the I don't think he's like really that into it. But they would go all the time, and it would be more uppity. So it'd be everyone would get drunk on Chardonnay and red wine instead of beer. And then still drunk, and then make these small dogs that can't run a lot. And then they all laugh too. That's the other thing. Everybody, owners, crowd, as soon as they go, and the gate drops and they come out of the little boxes, everyone just starts laughing hysterically. Everyone thinks, look how dumb our dogs are. They can barely run. Are you not entertained? I didn't like it.
That's bizarre.
Because it goes for a long time, and I'd be like, man, after you see one, it's probably like that, all right, let's wrap it up. And no, they're like, no.
Yeah.
We have like, qualifiers, and I'm
Oh,
like,
my goodness.
dude. A lot of them, because they're so not runners, So when they drop the gate, some dudes just head the other way, fucking like just come to a stop, take a
Sucking
shit.
their own dicks.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck,
Yeah, it's
man.
like toddler races,
Yeah, but
Right.
organized, several of them.
bush toddler races.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
Right. I know that there were a couple bars by where I grew up that became a gimmicky thing. One bar did it, and then a bunch of them, other ones ripped it off. They would have turtle races
Yeah?
for drunk people to enjoy.
Yeah, these were like turtle dogs because they could go. And that was the best thing, the funniest thing about it was if one of these dogs actually started sprinting
Yeah, right.
because their body hates them.
Right.
But they fight it all the way to the flag. And every now and then if that happened, then I could see real rejoice in the crowd. Like it was like Jordan, you know what I mean? Like coming down the lane and smashing it over the top. People were hysterically excited.
Why hasn't something like this taken off in America? I feel
Boring, that's why.
Well, but what about if because dogfighting is wrong, and pretty much everybody knows that now. As far underground as
dogfights.
as far underground as it was even in Michael Vick's heyday, it's gone even further underground. If it's
Yeah.
still, I'm sure it's still happening somewhere, but
For
it's
sure.
pretty hard to find. You know, I'll tell you a little bit of progress. I was just in Hawaii. I'd been there 15 years before. When I went to Hawaii the first time, I came back with 3 or 4 cockfighting T-shirts. I did not see.
Like they were legit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a fucking sick T-shirt where the.
Does that not help promoting? Are you not helping the cockfighting industry?
Oh hell yeah, I was. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah.
Just making sure.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm not trying to take the moral high ground on anything here. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I didn't go to the cockfight. I wasn't invited to the cockfight.
Right.
But if you went to an out of the way enough stand at the end of the stand, they would still have one where the fucking rooster, all of his feathers were made out of. I mean, this is a drawing, obviously. Like cut up pieces of money.
Nice.
Like this was a fucking money bird.
Yeah.
Here. Dog fighting is wrong, but dog racing is pretty much okay. No, the greyhound industry is sketchy too. Why? Here's my point. Why don't like white trash people just have dog races with their dogs, mutt on mutt?
Because that's organized.
But you know what I'm saying? Like instead of this is a greyhound and I'm a rich guy and I invested and I bred this dog and he lives at a kennel and I fucking employ a man to you just got your fucking dog and you take him to the park and you train her to be fucking fast. And then on Saturday nights you go down and fucking crack a can of Schlitz and see if your dog's as fast as your neighbor's dog.
I feel like that would be the fastest growing corruption race in the history of the world.
Bring it on.
Because people would just cheat. People would put like little coats on greyhounds. Like, nah.
Oh, I thought they were
It's a
going
poodle.
to shoot their dogs full of electrolytes.
Well, no, steroids. Just like don't they give steroids to greyhounds?
Yeah, oh, no doubt about it.
Right. So we would cheat. It's like I raced Lucas Oil short course.
Right, look at all your trophies. You're a huge cheater.
I am one of the biggest cheats ever. How do you think I got this? I cheated. That's the only way you can get one is to cheat.
If you're looking in the mirror and you're starting to notice that you might be losing a little bit of hair, you got a bunch of different options at your
Wolf
disposal.
tattoo on your head.
Get a wolf tattoo on your head, or you can live in denial and go, no, I'm pretty sure I always had I always looked like Bruce Willis in Moonlighting. That's nothing new. Or you can pray that your hair will come back, or you can do what this one guy did that I saw. I was just in Hawaii, and this guy had such a bad toupee. I saw him 2 days later at the airport, and I'm like, there's that guy again, because that's how little he's fooling everyone.
Yeah.
Or you can reverse. You can stop history in its tracks, and you can keep the hair that you have with Keeps.
It's available
That's right.
for the taking right now. Who wants some hair? Unless you're me, it's too late. So don't be too late. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/Ellis to receive your first month of treatment for free. Absolute free. That's KEEPS.com/Ellis to get your first month absolutely free. Keeps.com/Ellis.
Jason, Kevin, you know me for a long time, and
I know
known
you.
that whole time I'm all about 3 things.
Pussy.
4.
Fighting. Oh.
Okay, I'm about a lot of things.
Okay.
But 3 of the biggies for sure are refreshing bubbly water,
Oh, yeah.
saving the planet,
Oh, yeah.
and metal.
You do say that.
I've said that many times. I have the bumper sticker. And that's why
You
Liquid
love that
Death.
tang too, though, Michael. Don't lie.
I've got many bumper stickers. And that's why Liquid Death is the beverage of choice, not just for me, but for my whole entire family. You guys love it too.
I don't
Oh,
get
yeah.
it. If you drink water and you're not drinking liquid death, it's like, what are you? Some kind of like clueless moron?
Do you go to the store and say, what is the lamest can
Yeah.
you have?
Yeah. Why would you think about drinking any other water? Obviously, all other water. I mean, if you got a bottle, then maybe. But if you drop that, it's going to explode and cut people. Cans.
Yeah.
It's the future of water containers. It's metal. It's awesome. It's a good good tasting water, and it's good for the environment. You got to accept these things and get with us. Get with it. Get with it, Jack.
Yeah, and get free shipping on all water and merch
That's it.
at liquiddeath.com/Ellis. That's liquiddeath.com/Ellis, or just grab some at Whole Foods and 7-Eleven.
No, but everybody in that race, the more I did it, the more I realized that a lot of the people that were winning the race were in a roundabout way or straight up cheating.
Yeah. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah, that's what they
That's what
say.
I tell my children.
To circle back on the whole paranormal thing,
Yeah.
this is my one that I can't explain.
Wait, you saw a ghost as well?
I don't believe in ghosts.
But
I would like to. I would like to.
yeah,
I think
why?
if-
Because then you know if you die, it's not over. Maybe.
that I do think that plays a big part of it, and I also think ghosts are cool.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to be a ghost in the city or a ghost in the bush?
city, more people to scare.
You want to? Oh, you want to scare people?
Yes.
I would like to scare a deer.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, I have faith
Well,
in you.
you can't get up on him, but if you're a ghost, you could get close as fuck to a deer and be like, "Rah!" And he would freak,
Yeah.
They hate that.
right?
Yeah.
They're so jumpy.
Yep.
You probably get the same reaction out of a human. If you just materialize and went, yeah,
Yeah.
a human's probably going to jump too.
But how long do you, I mean, if you scare somebody, if I came in and went, "Rah!" and then it was documented, aren't I, is the cat out of the bag? Like, am I in trouble? Are they coming for me? They're trying to put me, because Ghostbusters is a thing by now. That for sure they could cross the streams and put me in one of those boxes. I don't want
Yeah.
to be in there.
Or if you're following like the Beetlejuice rules. Well, I guess they got the go ahead. They got the green light to scare everybody out of their house. But there
Yeah.
are ghost rules. You don't
There's
want
gotta
to
be.
break them and get thrown into limbo. That sounds pretty crappy.
Because they're so good at never really appearing to prove that they've ever been real.
Yeah, and I feel like now ghosts could get a little bit more ballsy because everybody's so like, oh, deep fake. You did that in Photoshop. So even if somebody did have footage of a ghost, I mean, there's been videos that come out of pretty creepy stuff.
It's fake.
And I feel like most people are just like, oh, yeah, that's just fake.
I will go with the alien thing now. I think that at one point you said alien and you were, a flat earther, and now it's not even a conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Like the tides have changed on that one. The amount of people that would have said, okay, dude, you probably smoked too much weed. Sure, maybe there was an alien versus, yeah, I mean, have you not seen the video? I don't know if that is one, but we definitely believe if they were to land right now, I don't think we'd kill each other over it.
Yeah, but
or
I mean,
pop.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody even gives a shit about aliens anymore. They're just
Yeah.
old news. You know, the day when the footage from the Air Force came out, and
Yeah,
you
but
can
it's
even
not
hear
good
the
enough.
pilots being like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely something fucked up. I don't know what that is."
Yeah, but it could be.
And then there was like a congressional hearing, and somebody admitted it. And the big news story of the day was like, "Oh, Kylie Jenner showed some of her bungus aerial."
I
on
love
Instagram.
Kyrie. She's my favorite. You don't know what it is. You don't know if it's an alien. That's the difference. If you see something flying, Russia could have built it. Somebody else could have built it that
Yeah.
not from outer space. The day it's like, we come in peace, like, or some shit like that, we're gonna freak out.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys have said, except for I think I agree with you in regard to where Kevin's take on this. I think we've all gotten much better in my lifetime at acknowledging really crazy shit and then moving on. And I am not to make this dark, but after September 11th, especially if people live in New York, it was like the world's never going to be the same again. And then it just kind of was. And I think enough things have happened in our lifetime that we never ever thought we would see that now it's like Okay, yeah, the government. I just read an article recently about the mainstreamization of believing in UFOs and how it stopped being such a crazy thing. There was, I think, a New York Times article that was written at one point that legitimized at least asking, it's now fair to ask the question. And then, yeah, the government openly saying, here's the deal. We don't fucking know what this shit is either. All that having been said, trust me, if fucking Nanu, I come in peace, fucking steps off of his Tic Tac this afternoon, it will knock Kylie Jenner's bunkus off of Twitter.
Yeah, no, she'll be second.
I'd like to see that happen.
What if it's Mork?
Yeah.
That's even more dangerous because we'll never know who's an alien and who isn't.
Yeah, that's right.
But if they come out and they're like Will Smith's guys, where they and they like put their cord on their neck and make you talk and shit, I don't want to. That's going to be next to impossible for us to trust them because they have such scary faces and scary spacesuits, and we've been raised to not trust scary people.
I predict no matter what their appearance is, we are going to kill it.
What?
If it looks like the Will Smith tentacle monsters, if it looks like Robin Williams, if it looks like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, if it's an adorable blob, we are killing it no matter what.
I'll personally murder Stitch.
What if aliens came here to free the people and the government killed them and then a few more ships land and were like, we're trying to help you, the people. And the government's like, shh, do. And you're like, wait, he's trying to say that we are trying to help the people. And the government's like, shut up. No, you're not. Do. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah,
government.
you're a dead man.
And then we all go get our
A dead
AKs and
alien.
we take out the government. And then the aliens are like, got you.
And then what? And then they just,
us.
and we got you to kill the government. Thank you.
You have been punked. And then they just fly off.
Now it is time for me to eat your soul. Yeah, what are they? Well, they
Stupid
gonna.
Martel, prepare for the fingering.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, yeah. So now it's just a giant probing of everybody else who survived. Nice work. Now bend over and show me your rectum. Yeah, it's gonna be a bad time. And you're like, man, I fought for you, and this is the motherfucking thanks I get.
Yep.
Yes,
The aliens are all chest bumping each other.
we have special probe fingers.
Works every time.
We've done that to many. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, I mean, if they show up and say, we're here to free you from your government, or if they're like, I have brought you this nice fruit basket, enjoy these space
I would have
oranges,"
some alien fruit.
dead. They are gunned the fuck down instantly.
Well, let's say that really happens. Would you rather die or would you rather get like alien fruit and be probed?
Oh, probe me. Probe the fuck out of me. I don't want to die.
I don't know. Is this like a fully unpleasant probing or is it just like, are they fucking you? Or is it they're sampling you?
So the alien probing stories there's many of them and they went on for decades. You don't really hear so much about those anymore. We've sort of passed the golden
what's up
age
with
of
that?
the alien probing.
They probably learned everything they needed from our butts.
Right. So there was the great joke in Kids in the Hall where there's the two guys that are aliens that are probers, but they're clearly just like low-level
Gay guys?
employees. No, they're just low-level employees in the alien army. And the guy's just sort of like having a midlife crisis talking to the other guy. And he goes, I don't know what we're doing. We've been coming down here for years. We've been probing all our asses. And all we've learned so far is that 1 out of 10 doesn't seem to mind.
God. I remember that.
That's good.
Weren't those guys gay?
One of them was. He was
Or just
on
Canadian?
Yeah, we had him on the show.
He was on the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
Scott Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah, he kicked ass.
He's a great guy.
Yep. Do you guys want to hear my spooky thing?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, wait.
I love that noise.
Yeah. That's
So-
pretty scary.
Around around when I first moved to Los Angeles, or around 10, 11 years ago, I had a bit of a rough time dealing with it. You know, I really missed my friends and family. Everything seemed foreign. I was sort of panicky.
Don't like avocado toast.
One of the weird ways I handled it was by not sleeping in my room. So I spent a lot of time sleeping in my living room.
Right.
Don't know why. I'm not saying there
Scary
was
in your
any
bedroom.
method to my madness, but I slept a lot out on my couch. And one day I just passed out in the middle of the day on the couch while watching TV. And I got woken up by what felt like somebody putting their mouth directly on my ear and going, and just blowing as hard as possible. And I shot up and was like swatting at my ear, like, oh, what the fuck? Looked around, nobody in there.
Could it have been a ghost fly?
It could have been a ghost fly. Perhaps a ghost fart.
You think
Or-
a ghost pulled his ghost pants down and put his ghost rectum on your ear hole?
I mean,
I would.
let's face
you know
it.
what?
If I died, if Catherwood died, and we turned into ghosts, we would be farting in everybody's mouth.
I would not be farting in people's mouths, but I do. That went too far. I feel like
Yeah.
farting in someone's.
I'd be more of a girl's locker room ghost personally, but you enjoy yourself.
Would you really?
Hell yeah. I'm a fucking ghost. Fuck off.
I guess Equinox wouldn't be a bad idea to just pop by and check out what's going on in there, huh?
Good luck canceling this ghost Twitter.
All right. What about people that you didn't like and just do stuff to them when they're talking to other people to make people think that they're weird?
I would like to think that I'd grow less spiteful in death, but it's unlikely.
All right.
I would be pantsing politicians. They're in the middle of a
what
press
about people
conference
you-
and
yeah.
pants
Right. But that's
right
why
off.
it's funny because I have the same take as you. I've had experiences that were very vivid to me. There's no other logical explanation for them. And yet I don't believe in ghosts because we would have just fucking all found them by now if they were really out there. The reason why I brought all this up is I asked if you think animals can experience the paranormal. So I had one dog when I was a kid, very poorly trained, not trained at all. We would have family gatherings. My family's constantly getting together, extended family. And if people were going in and out of the front door, if this dog got a chance, it would run out the front door and it would wander the neighborhood all night and not come
Nice.
back for hours.
Party.
So when the party was on, we'd put the dog in the basement and then the dog would be like at the door scratching, begging to get out. And we were
Yeah.
always like, he just wants to be free. He doesn't want to be down there. And he wants to run around. He knows he can get out if we let him out of the basement. When he passed and we got our next dog, that dog came willingly down to the basement once and then started kind of crying and was chasing stuff around on the walls. And we were like, oh shit, I wonder if that whole time the dog didn't want to be in the basement, part of it was that he was scared to be in the basement.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah.
You put him in a haunted basement all the time.
I don't know. Make of that what you will.
I wish haunted people did more cool stuff. I feel like the whole
Yeah.
like breathing
nothing,
in
yeah.
my ear
Knocking
or
on my
farting in
door,
my
yeah,
ear
right.
or like what about a hand job or something? You know? Like seriously, make me a sandwich.
Well, the
sing
place
me a song.
The place I lived before I moved to Los Angeles was an old house built in the 1800s that got converted into, each floor was a different apartment unit. There was only, 4 units in the entire place, but it was initially built as a brothel in the 1800s.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right,
Ghost horror.
Ghost whores, yeah.
I'm gonna finally see a ghost and I'm gonna get a handy from it.
If I had sex with a ghost whore, is that cheating, Katie, if I didn't tell you first?
No,
What about if I was in a ghost orgy?
that's fine.
Right. Would it matter if I was having sex with ghost people and some of the ghost people were, I just want to say, hella old?
How could you tell? Does that even factor in when you're?
Oh, you can see them. They're just like a little see-through.
Oh.
But you can see who they are, right? I mean, okay.
I
So
learned this trick from Woodrow Wilson.
that's what I'm saying. Like, is it not like, what if would you bone the ghost of Liza Minnelli?
I think she's alive, isn't she?
Oh. Is she?
Is she
Yeah.
not?
She's alive.
Would you rather have sex with the ghost of Liza Minnelli or
Liza
Liza Minnelli?
Minnelli?
Yeah.
You know what? I would rather have sex with the ghost of Liza
Me too.
because she was on Arrested Development in the last 10 years, and she was great. She was actually still really entertaining, but she is at the age where her voice doesn't quite work. She's kind of got like marbles in her mouth when she talks, and she's kind of permanently hunchbacked.
Oh.
Yeah,
So you think when she's the ghost of herself, she'll stand up straighter?
yeah. I think she'll.
I would
be in
like
her
to
tap
think.
dancing prime.
I would like to think that she would be kind of the same shape as she was when she died, but obviously,
A little bit more sprightly.
yeah, all the pain and wear and tear is gone. You're not even in that body anymore. So
One would hope. Can I tell you what I really think? Because I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe that Kevin had the experience that he did, and I believe that I had experiences that I've had, and I believe that Corey Taylor got shoved down a flight of stairs by a ghost. So here's a really weird thing. I had one of these experiences. It was another one. This one was a lot more explainable, but I was a little edgy to be alone in my house because I'd already had some stuff happen. One time I was hanging out in the house and remember auto reverse? That was like a fancy cassette player that when it got to one side of the cassette, it would automatically play the other side. You didn't have to turn it around.
I did not.
Yeah, my auto reverse thing kept auto reversing on its own, which is just an electrical malfunction.
I don't know.
But
Pretty scary.
I got weirded out by it. And and I remember there was also a teapot that I used to keep my money in. It was like a porcelain fancy, like you don't use it once a year teapot. And I kept my cash in there, and the lid fell off of it with nobody touching it. And I got sketched out, and I went for a walk. I was home alone, and I happened to run into my friend's mom. She was one of our neighbors around the corner. And I don't know why I even told her what was going on. I said, I'm taking a walk because a couple of weird things just happened in the house and I'm feeling uncomfortable. And she said, this is just like a suburban stay-at-home mom in the 1980s, goes, well, I happen to be taking a class on the paranormal at the local college. And I'm like, what are the fuck? People where I come from didn't just take a class on the paranormal. And she said, you're at an age where you're like, you have a lot of energy and you have a lot of psychic energy. And what a lot of people believe nowadays is that you're projecting this psychic energy. So you're the one who's actually doing that. That actually makes more sense to me that I was the one who was knocking on the door. I was the one who made the man sigh 3 feet away from me in the dark. To me, because I don't think ghosts are real, but I know—
You farted in your own ear, Kevin.
You farted in your own
Wouldn't
ear.
be the first time.
Which
What an
means
idiot.
that we all actually do have— we actually do have some untapped, like, psychic powers, like Hadouken shit. Honestly, it's like the alien thing. All we have are like. Do you think that every single? I was talking to Jessie May Peluso yesterday, and she was saying she was in New York. There's this pretty well documented thing that happened around 2010, 2011. A lot of people on a busy street in Manhattan all looked up and saw a fucking UFO, and she was one of them. She's like, you can't take that experience away from me. I can't explain it, but I saw the same thing fucking 5,000 people others saw. So did they all imagine that? Does that really seem like the most logical explanation? No. Is it possible China's making super weapons and they like to come over here and show them off from time to time in the middle of crowded places? That's a plausible contender. Or is it UFOs? Those are really your only choices, right? So when it comes to our shit, do you think it sounds crazy that I'm fucking throwing my energy and knocking on doors? Well, if you think that's not the case, then you have to say all of us are imagining shit or ghosts are real. You got to pick your poison.
I would say— I'm sorry. I mean, I would say the more realistic scenario for me is ghosts existing than people throwing energy Hadoukens accidentally.
One time, I might back you up on that story, because one time I took black tar heroin and I fell on the floor, and my face was on the floor and my beer was away from me. I couldn't get to my beer because my arms didn't work. So I tried to use like mental power to make the beer come to my face.
To will it, yeah.
Wow.
Use the force.
I made the beer come to my face. It didn't come.
Yeah.
So I think that you might be right. I don't think we have Hadoukens.
Yeah.
But then again—
I've tried a lot.
So then ghosts are real.
Right. I don't think ghosts are real either.
So then what is it? Like I'm saying, it has to be one of the three. We're all about— everybody who's had that experience.
I think it's your imagination for sure. I think we get scared in the dark. You see fake things and you make it up in your subconscious. So to the point where you're like, I think I just saw that.
And some of the things that have happened to me, I agree with you on that. But some of the things don't. That doesn't make any sense.
My best explanation for my thing, the ghost farting in my ear, is I was just having like a really realistic dream that kind of carried over.
Yeah, I think that's the most reasonable explanation for yours. I think it's the most reasonable explanation for my hearing somebody sigh in the dark, having somebody knock on the door and slam on it in the middle of the day when I was sitting on my floor playing guitar. That seems a little bit less likely.
So you're saying that a ghost did it?
No, I actually think the most reasonable of our available options is that I threw weird psychic power.
See, it sounds weirder when you say you threw weird psychic power into seeing a ghost. You just projected it, you mean?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Right.
Yeah, psychic power. I don't know. Psychic power and projecting something, it's two different things, right?
I don't know if I'm using the terminology correctly.
I feel like psychic power.
I'm new to this world of magic.
Yeah, two of those explanations are supernatural.
You know, Dr. Drew's wife, I went
Not
on her
necessarily.
show once and she had people on the phone and on Zoom or whatever, and they said that they were listening to my brother.
What?
They said they were talking to my brother. It's fucked up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm skeptical about that.
Like to have me over and because I cried,
Of course.
it was like emotional.
For the same
Katie,
reason.
you were there, right?
Yeah.
For the same
Yeah.
reason that you said that people, I'm not saying religion is real or not real, but the reason why it's understandable that people are more receptive to the possibility it might be real when they desperately need answers.
Yeah.
Somebody in your situation would be more receptive
Right.
to you want to believe that. Of course you want to believe
I
that.
can be totally gullible though. That's one of my.
And you probably were, but you were also in a very vulnerable place.
I always will be for that. I think.
We all are open to, like, you wouldn't go to a magic show if there wasn't a tiny little part of you that was like, well, but what if? You know, I told you a million times, I knew somebody pretty well who knew David Blaine really well.
Yeah.
And they told me, you don't understand. He's a genuinely creepy person. I've known him since he was a kid. There's something really weird there. And she told me that one time she was on the phone with him and he said to her, what's wrong with your dog? And she looked over and her dog was somehow on all 4 feet, but parallel to the ground. She was like, you don't understand. There is something fucking weird about David Blaine. This is just something he did on the phone talking to her. That's odd.
Yeah. That's really weird.
Yeah. This girl wasn't like a attention seeking. She was.
She made that up.
I don't know. She definitely knew him. She showed me a picture of him
Magic's weird.
doing magic tricks at her sister's birthday party when he was a kid and he had a wizard hat on.
Being real good at magic is weird. You know?
I want to watch him fuck somebody.
What?
Yeah.
Where did that?
And you got anybody in mind?
No.
Anybody? You just want to watch him
Whoever
more
he's
than her?
dating. Yeah. Not because it's going to make me horny, but I bet he's just weird.
You think he's got a weird pump?
Yeah, weird pump, weird faces, weird noises. He probably says stuff like, "Oh, you're pussy."
Why would
and,
anybody do that?
Points at it.
Why would anybody in the world while having sex go, "Oh, you're pussy"? Like what? Unless
Buffalo Bill.
unless it fell off or something. I don't understand why you would do that.
There it is.
Find
it every time.
Like, you think he talks like that?
Yeah.
Like he talks like he doesn't, like he just discovered pussy for the first time.
No, because he was in the pussy posse, right?
Yes, he was. One of the founding
Oh.
members.
Yeah.
Right. So he definitely pumped a lot of women.
Yeah.
What
and
about no hand, no pump, no dick orgasms? He literally fucks their minds. Do you think he did that?
Whoa.
He definitely seems like the kind of guy who could just lay there and say enter and have the girl come in and have the girl go to work and he never even looks at her. He just lays in the bed until he finishes and then dismisses her. And he
That's
also,
called the zombie.
And he also seems, I picture him as being a very zombie-esque lover. I think
he pumps. I think he's a romantic thruster, but I will say this. I hate to say it. No, I don't, because I think he's a bit of a kook. I think he's one of those guys that does that weird twirly pump that fucking chicks hate. But you know, when people you fuck a lot so much that in the end people start trying to do this other thing.
I think I tried whirly pumps when I was younger.
Whirly. I feel like he's a whirly pumper.
I also feel like he's really, really lost in his own world, and he would be very vocal but kind of quiet because he's only talking to himself. I picture his face staying deadpan and him being just sort of like, oh yeah, this, and it's just all he's whispering sweet nothings to him.
Maybe it's this one time where he gets to not be David Blaine. He just fucks like like a frat boy. Like he just forgets about
Joe Lunch Pail just.
Maybe just every day. I think you would have. Do you think he has one of those things where he has you sign something before you have sex with him so that you can't talk about it? Because I've never heard anybody talk about fucking David Blaine. Have you?
I've never heard anybody talk about fucking anybody, which
That's
is pretty
not true.
amazing to me.
Adam 22 has a show where he has hoes, bitch ass hoes, trick ass hoes on his show that talk about how they fucked this guy and that guy and they had a threesome with this guy and that girl and stuff.
I've always wondered why there isn't more of that.
It's a big show.
Yeah. Like TMZ, when they started TMZ Sports, I assumed that it was going to be a lot of that kind of shit. And for some reason, they don't. TMZ does sort of draw the line because it wouldn't be hard. TMZ could have started doing that 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Just talking to people. And I don't know, maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. This chick said she fucked him. She's got her picture with him. She definitely met him.
They go for facts. They're pretty they're pretty serious with their facts. I can't believe I just said that.
No, they are.
But it does seem like they have a lot of facts.
Yeah. Right. But that was supposed to be the whole point, TMZ, right? Because it's 30 mile zone, I believe. That there was this gentleman's agreement for the longest time in Hollywood press and Hollywood gossip that anything that happened outside of Hollywood was free game, but within a 30-mile zone of Hollywood, you just let people do shit and you pretended you didn't see it. And TMZ was breaking down the 30-mile zone. It's supposed to be the gloves were coming off on the gossip game.
Oh.
But they left a lot of fucking meat on that bone. Namely, who's fucking who and how big is their wang.
Wow.
Yeah, because we heard stuff about, women that slept with Shaq and said his penis is not proportionate. He doesn't have a tic-tac dick, but he's
just
not
normal.
He's not swinging legs.
Yeah, I heard that too. Good to know people are out there just telling everybody else about everybody else's penis.
Look, TMZ is. I don't need to go to TMZ today to know that there's 50 stories there I don't give a shit about. It's not that I'm interested in reading that. It's what do I think would get clicks, and that shit would get clicks.
Oh, what the size of Shaq's dick?
Just the nitty gritty of there's anything gossipy about celebrities that's titillating. So, and that's part of it.
It's also tough to prove. Like if some girl just says like, yeah, I fucked Channing Tatum and he's got a needle dick, it's like, all right, well, I don't really know you actually fucked Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Or if he has a needle dick.
I remember I saw a photo of Mike Tyson's wiener and he's getting changed now. Like, look, he doesn't have a fucking heavyweight champion wiener. And I was like, he's in the locker room. Like, he might have just walked out or he's about to fight or something. He's got sport dick. And as you know, guys,
Yes.
the penis has many, many, many shapes and sizes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I have, if I had to name all my different sizes for my penis, I don't think I could do it. Because and still to this day, sometimes I look down and I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
They can
Also,
do amazing things.
Yeah, I fought like 5 or 6 or 10 times and my dick's never been there once.
Yeah. I've been real cold and I'm like, whoa, look at that. Or sometimes I'm nervous and I'm like, whoa, look at that. Like it's not just always because you're in a meat locker. It could be sometimes your dick just has cold days. Sometimes it has fat days too. Like sometimes I wake up and I'm like, wow, is that normal? Like, am I
yeah, where
chopped
have you
up?
been hiding?
Yeah.
Enough
I don't
time
know.
has passed now where there's a lot of people that aren't aware of shrinkage. Like
That's insane.
That popular Seinfeld episode was, I think, one of the reasons why that was so big and so funny was a lot of women didn't know about shrinkage, and that sort of just became like, oh yeah, duh, shrinkage. That's from that Seinfeld thing. That's real. But I was telling my girlfriend about it once, and she was like, what the hell is shrinkage?
What?
She didn't know that dicks get cold when
Man, I feel like I want to make
small
a
when it's
short
cold.
movie about how many different faces my penis has. Like, just like, when they do that thing, like the sun sets and shit, and they have it in fast motion.
Yeah.
Like, just
Time
have,
lapse.
just try to get it to do as many different shapes as possible and put it into a real fast
man.
movie.
That just gave me an
Are you
idea.
Going to Scarborough Fair.
I'm not using that song.
Phones do have time lapse. I can just,
Time lapse your wiener.
I
And, like,
do-
get real cold, get real hot.
yeah. I don't want to show anybody, but I would like to, when I go home today, take my pants off and film like a profile shot of my penis soft and then start thinking horny things, get a boner, and then watch it go in super fast mode.
In fast motion, though. Yeah, I agree. I think I might do that. Maybe I'll do that for my birthday. I'm pretty sure it's my birthday today on this podcast. So happy birthday to
Happy
me.
birthday, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, Kevin, you saying that you wanted to watch David Blaine fuck was the strange thing you were going to say on this show. But you want to go home and time lapse your dick growing.
There's still time. I'll beat that one.
I didn't
Look
think
at
that was that weird. I feel like I might do it too. It sounds cool. I got to pour like ice water on it and shit though to make it like really.
Oh, so start with like a really, really small base.
I might just go in the cold plunge and then start filming it directly out of the cold plunge and then maybe get Katie to like shake her ass or something.
Start with a reverse fluff. So
Right.
before you even turn the camera on, put like an ice cube on your dick, get it as small as possible,
Right.
and then get a boner.
Right.
Get scared and cold and then get warm and horny.
Yeah. I'll get Katie to terrify me while I'm in the cold plunge.
Just waving bills in your face.
Wait, that's scary.
Sure, if you can't pay him.
Oh yeah, then good point. Yeah, that's a different kind of thing for my penis. I think.
Yeah.
Do you guys know that there was a guy who had knives for arms?
Yeah, a warrior. Is it true though?
T-1000?
Is it really true?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So a guy, they cut his arms off. Right. He was in some other guy came to his village and cut up people and cut his arms off.
His name was Galvarino.
Yeah.
He was the Mapuche's version of William Wallace.
He was sick shit, bro.
Yeah, so the Spanish came to town in what is now Chile and Argentina in the 1500s, and they pretty much kicked ass and they took everything, and all of the local people fought, and most of them did not fare very well. The Aztecs and the Inca were largely wiped out. The Mapuche, to some extent or another, still exists today, which is, relatively speaking, a bit of a victory. So the Spanish showed up, and what do they have? They have cannons and they have gunpowder, and they make pretty quick work of the indigenous peoples. This is pretty much the story of the European armies going all over the world. They managed in 1557, this is the Spanish, to capture 150 men with Galvarino among them.
Oh, shit. They call it Galvarino. This
Right.
is full hands Galvarino, correct?
Yeah, he's a two-handed man at this point.
Right. So
in the
there he
story.
was with two hands, minding his own business.
On November 8th, 1557, everything was about to change. The leader of the Spanish ordered his men to cut off the right hand and the nose of every Mapuche warrior they had captured. The idea was, rather than killing them, they were going to send them back to their people and go, this is what we did to your best guys. Best to not even bother trying to fight us.
Why the nose?
It's quite shocking to see a noseless man.
Good point. Wow. Yeah, that's horrific. Okay,
yeah, and I guess
continue.
it comes off pretty clean, but
You
it
look
won't-
like a Skeletor, man.
it won't kill
immediately.
you. Yeah. That guy's going to be hard to miss in a crowd
Yeah.
moving forward.
I think the infections would have killed a few people too, right?
After
I imagine
having,
so.
I probably did. After having his left hand chopped off, our hero Galvarino offered up his right hand
Yep.
and watched the axe fall a second time without flinching. He then requested that they kill him.
Nice. But they didn't.
They refused.
Pussies.
So they sent him and the rest of his mutilated warriors back to their homeland, and they expected him and his warriors to say, look, guys, we got to surrender. Instead, his takeaway, his message was, we can't possibly live under the people who did this to us. It would be better for us to die trying to defeat them than to live,
Yep.
So this fearsome man had 2 knives lashed to his stumps.
Fuck yeah.
And then painstakingly learned to fight without hands, using the knives as a weapon. Less than 1 month later, he led 3,000 Mapuche warriors into battle against 1,500 Spaniards.
It's got to still hurt to slaughter a man with your spike arms.
Why?
Because they're attached to like a wound or bone or something,
Nah, it'd
right?
be strapped to the side
Yeah.
of your stump.
Oh, to the stump?
Yeah, it wouldn't be in the stump.
Contemporary drawings seem like it's lashed to the sides.
Yeah.
He's like
And
Baraka from Mortal Kombat.
Hopefully his hand healed enough for there not to be pain there. But yeah, I mean, to learn how to, because you'd want to like, what is the ultimate length for you to be efficient, with both? Because you got to have, I would assume that he's kind of blocking with one and slashing with the other. Like it must have been, because, back then, if you were sword fighting people, you would want a shield, right?
Probably.
I would. And now you don't have that because you got no arms.
Yeah.
I guess you could have strapped a shield to one.
Leading his men into battle, he said, nobody is allowed to flee but to die, because you die
Nice.
defending your mother country.
How did he could have ridden a horse, right? He can't hold on to the steering wheel.
I
Reins.
don't even know if these were horsey people.
So they just ran.
I have no idea. They were ambushing, so they were trying to come up as quietly as
coming out of the
possible.
bushes.
And despite the fact that they had the element of surprise, they were massacred.
Ah.
The Spanish killed and captured most of the Mapuche they faced in battle. The Spaniards suffered no losses whatsoever,
Oh, no.
except for a couple of dead horses.
But look, he did still at one point kill some people with double-sworded hands.
it's true.
So there's an upside to that story.
Yeah.
I think he was
of.
arrested, and he said, I would rather die than live like you. I'm only sorry that my death will keep me from tearing you to pieces with my teeth.
Nice. And then they killed him?
And then they sentenced him to death, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Legend says they threw him to the dogs instead of hanging him. Another legend says the warrior killed himself to rob the governor of the pleasure and pride of killing him.
Nice.
Or they grabbed him by his remaining forearms and were like, "Oh, stop slashing yourself! Stop slashing yourself!"
Yeah, right. I would have cut his feet off.
Oh no!
And then be like, "There you go, Stumpy."
Then just put spoons on his
put
legs.
some blades on that and see how far you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have just taken the blades off and let their wussiest man, like let the cook box him.
Did you know in Roman times, Michael, there was like a full gay brigade because they had some theory that if you didn't have a wife, then you didn't care as much. And I don't know, but a bunch of, they had like a full on gay guy army. Everyone was gay. Those guys had tensoms for sure.
I don't see why not.
I mean, if you're fighting all day,
Yeah.
you're definitely fucking all night.
Yeah. I've never really been able
What
to
they drink?
wine.
Right, they had wine. What?
Come.
Right, nice, Katie. Thank you. Yes, they did.
Delicious
obviously.
summer cum wine.
A little bit of jizz in their Riesling. Yeah.
You want to watch this video?
Yeah. Okay.
It was a literal army of gay men. I am, of course, referring to the Sacred Band of Thieves. And this was an elite hoplite unit that was composed of 150 paired lovers from the city of Thebes. And for those of you who don't understand, this is Greece, which was divided into many hundreds, if not thousands, of little city-states. And this place right here above Athens, that is Thebes. Now, when you first hear about the Sacred Band of Thebes, your first question might reasonably be, why? But there was actually a very simple logic behind it. If you had a military unit that was entirely composed of homosexual lovers, then it was believed that they would actually fight harder in battle. This being because they would both fight in order to protect their loved one while simultaneously wanting to show off their valor and greatness before him. And one of the driving factors for this was that it was believed that true love could only exist between men, which I will explain later. And after its introduction, the Sacred Band of Thebes would go on to be undefeated for a period of about 30 years, before ultimately it was wiped out by the Macedonians.
All right. So, isn't that weird how gay Greek people were? Like, it just seems like every time I hear a story, how remember that story I told you about the bigger the dick, the more honorable it was to suck him off? Like all these stories I hear about Roman times where it was almost like, I feel like it's hard to imagine that Romans were that gay. I feel like a lot of people were like, oh man, yeah, I guess it's honorable to blow a guy, so I will. Like, I feel like back then there might have been fake gay people.
Yeah.
Because it seems so fucking popular.
Like gay posers? Like sucking dick and not really enjoying it?
To get further up in the chain of command, you're doing stuff that you probably have no interest doing.
If people are capable of sleeping with people they're not interested in sleeping with for material gain.
I've heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Kevin, be careful. I've heard there are some women like that out there.
I'm very wary.
I'm trying to think who I would
You
let.
got a lot of cool shit.
Trying to think who I would let bang me. What's a podcast?
Bitch is always trying to steal my comics.
Who could I bang to get up in the game? Like, who would be my person?
I think I see you paired up with Charlemagne.
If I have sex with Charlemagne, he'll put me on the Breakfast Club, and then I'll become
Something like that.
He's got a very
like that.
strong Xerxes from 300 vibe.
What about Whitney Cummings?
Yeah.
I'd rather fuck her than Charlemagne. And then Whitney Cummings and I do like a podcast together.
Yeah, I think Charlemagne's better for your career, to be perfectly honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't feel like Charlemagne would like. You mean Charlemagne the God, right?
Of course, yeah. Not
Yeah.
speaking of the Holy Roman Emperor, no.
Right.
That's only going to get you so far in
Right.
2021.
Right, good point. He's dead. I guess, yeah. I get you. Like, he gets me a foot in the door somewhere.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're going to have to still do work. You would be his Tom Arnold. You would be so Tom Arnold, I think, was a writer on Roseanne.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was her lover and her husband. And then he was like an occasional cast member. And everyone said, who is this goofball? What does she see in him? He's so untalented. And then he had the platform and he needed to prove himself.
Yeah.
Or else he would have been a Kevin Federline type figure in the pop culture. Charlemagne could force you into the public eye, and then you would have to take that and run with that.
Right.
Tom Arnold ultimately had to deliver the goods, which he did in The Stupids, by the way.
You don't think it'd be easier to just have sex with Joe Rogan?
Yeah, that would totally work too.
Right.
Yeah. That would also be more effective than Whitney Cummings, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
What about a threesome with? Nah. Trying to think. There's really Adam Carolla.
I mean, the biggest stuff today, sneakily, is the true crime stuff. So you should
Have sex with somebody from the True Crime podcast.
Sex with a true criminal.
Yeah, pork a murderer.
Wait, not even a guy that has a big podcast. Just fuck a murderer
Yeah.
before he goes to jail, or like
No,
what about?
conjugal?
Dude,
Sleep
'cause I
with-
could do
sleep-
that.
Sleep with all of them.
Do you think that I could do if I started writing mail
Yeah.
to inmates that are murderers, trying to be their side bitch?
Yeah.
Do you think I could pull a conjugal? And then if I do, then I get full support.
I would say
Podcast
Oh my
downloads.
offering gay sex to a man serving life in prison is roughly akin to selling ice to Eskimos, but you give it a shot.
Wait, yeah, but that's not this sweet.
Yeah, I know yours
this-
is better. I know.
This sweet.
I know you got that. You got that.
Unprisoned tang.
You got that magic stick. I know.
David Berkowitz is still alive. You could butt fuck him.
Wait, I could fuck David Berkowitz. Who's that?
Son of Sam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's
so
not even that old, considering he committed those murders in the late
So-
70s.
He's 68.
Yeah.
So send mail in. Say, hey, I'm your biggest fan.
Send him a dick pic.
Here's my throbbing knob.
Yeah. I want you to suck.
Yeah.
Here's a
Yeah, the dog told me to suck you
my
off.
dog told me to give you a hand job.
here's a time lapse
Nice.
video of me getting a boner.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Here's a insane quick documentary on how I can get my frozen dick to stand
I
up.
call it from worst to first.
Yeah, man, that's such a good part. I want to do that show. That's a good idea.
Let's see. Who else is still alive? I guess he's the most famous.
You can't fuck them though. They won't. You're not allowed to, right?
Right. Even the chick who got married or whatever to Charles Manson, I don't know that they were able to consummate that.
Oh,
And she wasn't on the level anyway. I think she just did that for
he does.
a
say.
gimmick. Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense. He seems such a lovable character.
Well, I don't doubt that over the years there were a number of deranged women who sent sincere love letters to Charles Manson in
Yeah.
prison. But the chick at the end was she had.
But
an
you
angle.
can't bone him.
I don't believe that she was ever able to have sex with him.
What about R. Kelly? That probably wouldn't help me at all, right?
No.
What about if I butt fucked him and I said that he didn't like it? That would make me pretty cool, right?
That would win you a certain number of fans. Yeah.
All right.
So he's
Then
going
I
to
go
jail,
butt
huh?
fucking again. That's probably not a good idea.
Right. Right.
What about if I had consensual sex with his wife? She's a lady.
She's of age.
Yeah.
Game on.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're talking real old.
Hmm.
He had a wife, right? Like a fat lady that was like not very hot and shit. That like
I know very little
madamed things.
about the R. Kelly harem. I feel like I kind of got the gist, and I believe that what I believe to be true is true, and I haven't really concerned myself with the details. Yeah.
It's weird that dude's alive.
Yeah. It's weird that it took this long for him to be stopped.
What about Kevin Spacey? He's still out.
He is still at large. Is
Prince
he-
had sex with people that were 16 too. Everybody did that
No,
stuff.
no. See, I've made that allegation and I've been forced to retract that. Prince met a young woman and took her under his wing.
Bless
And
you, pussy.
I think we can all agree that this is even a little unsavory in its own right. But I don't know if she traveled with him or if she was a dancer with his band or whatever, but she swears that he never made a romantic advance until after she was 18.
Uh,
And they did end up married and stuff.
all right.
He's still a full-grown man who took an interest in someone
Yeah.
who was underage, but it's not the same as the Ted Nugents and the Steven Tylers moving chicks across state lines when they're 12
Yep,
kind of shit.
I agree.
Yeah, right. And to like Bill Cosby, who's, obviously defending R. Kelly and saying, successful black man gonna get railroaded. Maybe I am
That's not that good of a move, is it? If you're a raper, allegedly,
Mhm.
and you go, hey, this raper guy ain't
Yeah.
so bad, isn't that like, of all things you should be talking about, you shouldn't talk about that?
Well, he's free. And
Yeah, he's done giving a fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he definitely doesn't give a shit anymore. He's not trying to win over anybody who win back anybody who he's lost. I'm not aware of anybody who is currently functioning in our popular society, pop culture, who's doing anything R. Kelly-y, who isn't being brought to task for it. And I'm going to disagree with Bill Cosby that I think show us another Harvey Weinstein and watch the social media world attack that person every bit as hard as anyone's attacked R. Kelly.
Remember that movie where that guy had to have sex with a pig? And he's like a president or whatever. And
Oh yeah, that was Black
Mirror.
Mirror.
yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it show's great.
I mean, I don't want anybody to have sex with a pig unless the pig's like, I totally want it. But they don't have a conductor of sorts yet to tell you what a pig's saying, right?
I wouldn't trust a pig translator.
What about if a monkey does sign language and tells you that he wants your dick? Is that okay?
I'm gonna need a pretty consistent pattern of him indicating that.
Right. He does. He's been talking for years. He like answers questions and shit. You never seen those guys that like they do
Yeah, I
sign
know.
language
Yeah,
and
for
touch
sure.
buttons and
Was
shit?
Coco? Was that
Coco.
the first? There you go.
Katie showed me a video of dogs that like have buttons on the floor and they're like,
yeah.
I want to go outside. I want to go outside. It's like, where's your toy? Like, it's upstairs. You go get it. No, you get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, some lady, I think, single-handedly just worked that out with her dog and now is trying to share that technology with the world. I forget the way that she did it. If memory serves, I remember seeing that story a couple of years ago. It's kind of it's just like consistent. Same thing I told
Yeah.
you that they've potty trained a small number of cows.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's,
Cows are like dogs. I've seen it in their face.
yeah, it's just like it's like potty training a human. It's not hard. You just need to be persistent.
How long before they have a little thing that they connect to the dog or the cat's brain and it goes meow and then like a Siri voice goes, I would like some food right now.
I'd set the over-under at 8 years.
It is hard. Like we'll have conversations with our pets. And then once we have conversations with our pets, a lot of people are going to have no friends. Because sometimes friends are full of shit. But who knows? Maybe you'll find out your dog's a cunt.
Yeah, or maybe you'll find out that
This whole
all-
time he
that-
didn't even like you.
that
Yeah.
all of the millions of shades of nuances of expressions you've been reading into your dog's face have actually been him saying the same fucking four annoying things over and over and over.
Yeah.
Could go either way.
Sometimes Gimli says something that I'm pretty sure it's pretty redundant. You know?
Dogs are simple men.
He's a cat.
Cats are simple.
He's a simple man.
Yeah.
He's very dog-like.
Yeah, cats are a little bit more complicated than dogs, but not that much more.
It depends. I just feel like it's like, you know how I have more Neanderthal in me than you two,
Mhm.
and it shows.
Mhm.
I feel like some cats and dogs have more of their ancestors' wildness in them,
Yes.
which makes them, the flinchier one, the fucking
Yeah.
less trusting, and then there's more like, because I think Gimli got pulled out of his mum's box by Katie. So Katie and Lee and Nikki were his mum from the start. So I think he's used to, it's sort of, he doesn't have any wild in him. He has more of,
Yeah.
he's just full on street.
This is all he knows. It's like Garfield.
Yeah, he's like Garfield. I never watched that.
You did not miss much.
Yeah. All right, everybody. It's been a great show, but we've got to go because podcasting only goes that long. If you want to hear a longer show, you can go to our Patreon where we do 2 Jason Ellis shows every week, and then I do 2 solo shows on there every week. It's patreon.com/EllisMate. It's a pretty good show. People like it. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't die.
Bing boing poing 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 poing.
If you want more Jason Ellis Show, sign up for their Patreon at patreon.com/EllisMate for a 2-hour show every Tuesday and Wednesday. To watch full episodes of The Jason Ellis Show, subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/The Jason Ellis Show. And don't forget to follow the crew on Instagram at Wolfmate, at Tullywood, at Kevin Kraft, at Underwear and at The Jason Ellis Show.
Big fucking poing. Big fat poing. Poing.
Fucking
Big fat boy. Boy.